mechanical. I moved away from there and began shooting the scene from actually the northeast of the Pentagon itself, down the face that was on fire, and the firefighting that was going on. There is in my video a clip. I actually have a battalion chief from Fort Myer putting an air bottle on his back. In discussions with him, he has indicated to me that he put that air bottle on 5 minutes after the impact. So that helps me with my timeline and my thoughts. I figured I would be better off moving toward the fire itself. No one was in control of the area. I had free reign. I know better than to get in the way, so I tried to stay away from any of the actual firefighting or life-saving. I did photograph and videotape some of the medic units treating some of the injured immediately, and as I moved forward. Moving behind the ambulances, I was able to get a good shot of a gentleman on a stretcher that was it was pretty badly burned, being put into in the ambulance. He was asking the people around him to tell his family that he was okay. As I moved further still, I was focusing on the impact site and the firefighting directly across from the fire engine and the control tower at the heliport. All the while I'm looking for, and again, seeing videotape and photographs and reading information about airplane crashes, I'm looking for wreckage, and I don't see anything discernible. I can't find a piece of anything that I recognize. I can't see the tail, I can't see the wheels, I can't see the engines, there's no chairs, there's no luggage, there's no logo. I mean, for Air Florida, when we shot that, we could see the logo of the Air Florida plane. You know, there was identifiable structure that you could see with that kind of an impact on that aircraft. I moved along. I did photograph a lot of the actual people began to organize themselves. There was some stretcher bearers with some backboards moving into some organized line. I believe they were attempting to go back in the building to do some rescue. This was before the collapse, and they were mustering at the burned out fire equipment on the heliport concrete pad itself. And there's a lot of debris in the foreground of those videos. Again, very small pieces. I mean, I'm standing on pieces a dinner plate or smaller in size. The largest piece I believe I saw was maybe 2 by 3 feet, and it was crumpled. I believe that is the piece that everybody sees with a blue stripe. Well, or it had red paint on it, red logo, a red stripe. Again, I didn't dwell on that. There was a lot going on. I noticed the clergy were beginning to show up, and I figured that was something that would be valuable. I videotaped the gentlemen from the churches and from the different religions trying to figure out what they were going to do. The foam trucks were beginning to show up from National Airport. They were beginning to start their firefighting, and after the dispatches came through that it was a plane, I'm sure they came because of the fuel. What I was seeing immediately was they were pouring water into the actual firefighting itself, which I believe probably spread the fire deeper into the building. I just carried it further and further along. I don't know that for sure, but it sounds logical to me. There was no foam and there was no actual fuel fighting going on at that time. I saw the first helicopter land. It was immediately to my right. It was the Park Police Eagle. He landed on the road itself that was going up into the Arlington area. As I saw the actual pilots and crew start to motion, I turned to my right again and saw a severely burned patient on a gurney pass me. I couldn't tell who he was. He was burned that badly. He had no shirt, and he was moving his hands. I'm thinking maybe either in shock or what. One of the first, and I believe one of the only patients that was medevac that day that survived. And I do believe I have his name somewhere. It's Carlos, I believe, something. There were articles written about him and his recovery later on. About the time I was filming him being loaded into the ambulance, I heard a crunch and looked back to my left, and the Pentagon, actually the floors were collapsing right across from where I was standing. The video that I was able to get of that shows the debris and the smoke coming away from the building as it's being pushed away.
Now your video has the best shot of the whole for video evidence. Best, hands down. How big, now you were right up there, how big was the Pentagon hole? How big could it possibly be?
I would say if it was 16 feet diameter, 20 feet tops. Again, I can't that's what was starting me so curious. As I was trying to find something, there was no marks on the grass. Something never hit the ground. It didn't hit the heliport. I mean, it was a precision or awfully lucky hit. I mean, I don't know how it didn't bounce. I don't know how it hit directly in the side of the building without touching the ground, going as fast as it obviously was going. But I can't believe the thing is more than a garage door. You know, I mean, it was. The firefighters are standing in front of it. They're looking up at it, and they're just wondering, wonder what's behind it, wonder where it went.